For the past 6 years, that money was going toward rent for formerly homeless veterans. This whole investigation started when the city received a tip to their fraud hotline, saying that the apartment complex called Sandy Studios, located on Northeast Sandy Boulevard, was unsafe and unlivable. The investigation ultimately found that the joint office spent more than $850,000 for veterans to live there.
It kind of struck us as maybe one of the worst things that can happen.
Casey Jones runs Portland's Audit services, which reviews city programs and funds. He says this investigation was unlike any other, and that it found the Joint Office of Homeless Services spent more than $850,000 to shelter veterans in this two-story apartment complex, but allowed it to, quote, deteriorate into unsafe, unsanitary housing that ultimately left the Joint Office scrambling to find shelter for the residents.
And eventually, in the beginning of 2021, the ceiling collapsed and the building was condemned.
The report goes on to say last January, a building inspector found a, quote, collapsed ceiling and damaged roof that allowed water to enter the building, along with dangerous levels of mold in nearly all the apartments caused by moisture and damage. There is no record of repairs being made, but the Joint Office says they did. The report claims the Joint Office struggled to find new housing for the tenants due to COVID restrictions. The city says while the Joint Office was trying to move tenants out of the unsafe building, they were still moving people in.
I think that the folks who weren't homeless during the pandemic might disagree with that assessment. It really was, I think, needs to be always held in the context of this was the height of the pandemic.
Joint Office policies require annual risk assessments of their properties. They did not perform these assessments at Sandy Studios in 2019 or 2020. The city auditor's office now recommending the Joint Office to do 4 things: inform staff of contract requirements and enforce them, address employee conflicts, meaning separate those in charge of policy enforcement with those responsible for supporting the nonprofit providers, ensure high-risk areas of a property are monitored, and follow up on reports and problems. The Joint Office is now hiring more staff to meet these recommendations.
We know that there were things that were important pieces for us to take away and learn.
The city will check back in with the Joint Office in about a year to see how they're doing with these recommendations. It's also important to note that people are still living in this building. It's owned and operated by a private company, and we were there today, and the staff there tells us that they're making repairs and working with the city to pass inspections. Blair Best, KGW News.